Hey guys, so I've been seeing this video all over YouTube, and basically it's just a Draw My Life video, and I just am going to tell you my life story via dry erase board. So here it goes. I was named Nia, I believe by my mom, but I was a super happy and extravagant baby, so I've been told. My name actually means purpose, and it's a Kwanzaa candle, but we actually don't celebrate Kwanzaa, so I'm not sure why I was named that. I think my parents just liked the name. We tried celebrating one year and we totally failed, so yeah. So my mom is from Dominica, and she's extremely beautiful, and she actually moved to the States when she was young, so she has a lot of culture, but her parents definitely have more than she does. So her parents moved to the States. I think I don't remember exactly what age she was, but she was pretty young. So her and her family, my aunts, they all moved to the States, and that's where my mom met my dad. So this is my dad, and that's his crazy high top hair that I tried to do. And from the story that I've been told, they met at the park. And so they just completely fell in love. I'm guessing they never told me the story real sappy or anything, but I'm just assuming that's what happened. And it was all history from there. He was like, "Hey girl, can I get with ya?" Yeah, just kidding. But anyway, so yeah, they started dating, and after that, one thing led to another, and that is when dun dun dun. If I can write any slower. That is when my sister came along, and they weren't together very long before they had my sister, I don't think. But she was definitely a love baby, and I think that's really great because, it all happened for a reason, and, it's just life, and that's what happens, and she's so beautiful. I love my sister. And then after they had Christina, they were still living in New York where they met. And so a few years later, they had my other sister, and her name is Alana. And she is, I believe, 2 years older than Christina. So yeah, my babies, my parents were just popping out babies like it was nobody's business, but luckily they were super cute, so everyone was happy, even though people might not have been as supportive as they probably could have been. It was a blessing in disguise because everything worked out. And then a few years later, there I was in my mama's stomach. And so there's 3 kids, and I'm sure my parents didn't know what they were going to do with themselves, but they figured it out, and then, they just couldn't stop, so they had another baby, and that is my brother, Kenny, and we're all super close. I love my family so much, and I couldn't imagine not having all 4 of us kids. Honestly, it seems so weird to even think about. But my parents were really happy to finally have a boy, probably mostly my dad, because, yeah, he needs him to play sports and stuff. But after that, we lived in Nebraska. It was just super, Midwest lifestyle. That's just what we did. And my brother actually was born in Nebraska, so all my life I've just been a Midwest girl. I've known corn and just cows and grass and all that good stuff. In my town that I actually lived in after this, we had a sweet corn festival, so that just goes to show. But I was an extremely happy child growing up. I was extremely outgoing, a super duper ham. I loved attention. I loved music. I remember always listening to Mariah Carey when I was younger and always wanting to sing. Definitely when I was younger, I wanted to be a singer. I always just imagined my life as Mariah Carey, basically. I love to dance. I love to do everything artistic. I even used to paint a lot and just do a bunch of creative things. I would always just try to make the next, the next thing, and I would go through people's, you know, recycling box to try to create stuff with their recyclables. But yep, that's just me. I was a weird kid, but I actually had a good amount of friends in elementary school, and when I was younger, they were all like my best friends. I felt super popular. No, just kidding. I didn't feel popular, but I definitely had a lot of friends. But eventually, I guess you can't have so many best friends, and so, you know, best friends would come and go, and I wasn't so popular. But I think my best friend, I don't know when, but she lived up the block. I don't know how old I was, but her name was Erica, and we grew inseparable. I always went up the block barefoot to her house, and we would climb trees, and we would pretty much do everything together. Oh, and what I'm about to draw is grapes. She grew grapes in her yard, and so we would always go pick them and eat them. She always had a ton of fruit and vegetables in her yard. But my other childhood best friend was Kyla, and she was awesome. We always did crazy things together, and we ate dog food and cat food, unfortunately. But yeah, she was awesome. But then we got the sad news that I was moving from Nebraska to Illinois, and that made me extremely sad because I was going to lose all my friends, especially my childhood best friends, Erica and Kyla. So I was extremely sad, and so was the rest of the family. But my dad got a new job, so we just had to do what we had to do. My mom loved her job in Nebraska. You know, Chris was leaving for high school. I think it was her senior year, so she was moving on her senior year. Kenny was still young, so he didn't know what was going on. And, you know, we were all just sad because it's what we knew, and it's just like how we grew up. It was pretty much half of our lives were spent in, okay, so let me catch up. This is a drawing of my house. We were so excited that we got a new house in Illinois, and, but then we had a creepy neighbor, and we called him Safari Boy, and he was just extremely creepy. We never talked to him. And we actually had corn in our backyard, so that just goes to show how super Midwest that was. But after a while, we kind of got used to it. I think everyone was a little happier, especially with the new house. And so I started 6th grade in Illinois. I wasn't too thrilled about it, but I was extremely outgoing at this point. So on my way to school one day, I met this girl named Rachel, and she was awesome. She was extremely nice to me, and she was my first friend in Illinois, and it didn't take very long to make her as a friend, and we were super inseparable after that. Like, we were best friends, always at each other's house, meet each other halfway. And it all began with Tic Tacs. I asked her if she wanted some of my Tic Tacs, and then I think she had a pack of gum, and she was like, hey, yeah, do you want some of my gum? And you know, ever since then, we just loved each other. I don't even know, like, we've had so many crazy nights together. And there are a bunch of other friends, you know, that came and went. I don't know how to say that, but there were a bunch of other friends in middle school that I made, and that was awesome. But I didn't really make like a ton of super close friends in middle school that stuck with me through high school. Kind of went in and out. But in 7th grade, in my PE class, I met this girl named Georgia, and she was really quiet. She didn't say a whole lot, but I kind of liked her. I kind of liked that about her, and I really liked her because she seemed interesting. So I was like, hey, yeah, I want to be her friend. So then I was like, yeah, let's be friends. And so we'd always hang out at her house. We'd go on shopping sprees and, you know, all that fun stuff that best friends do. And to this day, Georgia's still my best friend, even though I live in a different state than she does. Friends forever. Yeah. So, And then I came to Georgia, and I started oh wait, just kidding, I got ahead of myself. So I started high school after that, and I got a car that my parents gave me, so I was super excited, and I still have my car. His name is Hendrix, and I love him. And when I was a freshman, I joined this thing called show choir, where I got to sing and dance, and I loved that because it was just awesome. It was everything that I loved. Like I was saying before, I loved to sing, I loved to dance, and I loved attention. So I joined this, and a few years later, this boy joined this show choir for fun, and he'd always stare at me in the mirror, and I would just be singing my heart out, you know, not even really notice, but he'd be like, oh yeah, I dig her. And then he like had the courage to come and talk to me, and so I was like, I didn't know whether or not I liked him, but he was like quoting that song that Bruno Mars had, "When I See Your Face," you know. So I don't know, it's kind of like, you're super duper cheesy, but at the same time I kind of like it. So, you know, mixed emotions there. But you know, in the end, I really did like it. I was just, you know, putting on a front. I had to do that, you know, had to play hard to get. But yeah, after that, we totally had a crush on each other, and he asked me out, and I was like, yeah. And we went out, and now we're going out still. But more to that later. So then my dad was like, hey guys, we're moving to Georgia because I have a new job. And I was devastated because, you know, good things were happening for me. I was really happy. I have a boyfriend, blah, 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 you know, all that good stuff. And yeah, I just wasn't happy. It was my senior year. At my new high school, I felt like a complete ghost. You know, I never really talked to that many people, and I just felt like no one, you know, knew me, and it was just a complete change. But then after that, I applied for college, and I got accepted, and so I was super happy about that. And about my love life, me and Morgan, like I said, we're still together. He lives in New Orleans, I live here, and, you know, still making it work, because that's just how you do it. And yeah, so I'm super happy just because, you know, life is just something to be happy about, and good things are always happening. I have a lot of things planned for the future, and just life is a beautiful thing. Sorry, that sounds so cheesy, but I have my photography business going, so that's really exciting because that's what I want to do in the future. So much love is happening in my life right now, and my family is a huge support system for me. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this somewhat.